Dad notices toddler with juice acting strange. Takes sip because he knew something's wrong. Noticing his young daughter's strange behavior, he began to grow deeply suspicious. When she slid off her chair and stood up unsteadily, he knew. He grabbed the cup of juice from her hand and took a long sip. Suddenly, his chest was burning. Grabbing his phone, he frantically dialed 911. He knew what they'd done and there would be consequences. The Smith family from Georgia was going about a normal Sunday afternoon. Alexis, Tim, and their young daughter Alia had decided to pop into an eatery just outside of Atlanta in Vinings, Georgia, for lunch after their church service. Little did they know they were about to spend the rest of the day in a hospital ward. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to our channel and click that notification bell to get inspired by these real-life stories every day. Now, back to the story. After Tim and Alexis finished their lunch, their daughter began to act extremely strange. Although Alexis understood that making mistakes is part of being human, this mistake that had been made with their daughter was unforgivable. It wouldn't be long before the consequences would become apparent. Soon she'd be demanding answers. Where was the manager? The Smiths had sat down at a table in a popular restaurant in Vinings and had ordered lunch for themselves as well as a cup of apple juice for 18-month-old Alia. It was a normal enough request. After all, the family had been patrons for years. Little did they know things were about to take a frightening turn. Alia sipped on her juice as they all enjoyed their Sunday meal. They hadn't noticed anything out of the ordinary. At first, everything was normal, Alia's mom said tearfully. It was only when their plates had been cleared and they were about to leave when they noticed something was very wrong with little Alia. They watched as their daughter's eyes became unfocused. They tried to ask her what was wrong, but she was acting extremely withdrawn. At first, they didn't think too much of it. Then she got off her chair and began to stagger. It was at this point Alexis knew something wasn't right. Was she suddenly sick? Then Tib grabbed her cup of juice. We're about to leave. My spouse got the juice. It was in the kid's cup. He tasted it and his chest started burning, Alexis explained. When she saw her husband's reaction, she took the cup of apple juice from him and tasted it. The taste was familiar, but she couldn't quite place it. After all, she was expecting apple juice. When Alexis sipped the juice, she also felt a distinctive burning in her chest. She couldn't believe it, but it happened. Then she knew without a doubt what it was. Their daughter had been served something else entirely. Alexis screamed for the manager while Tim called 911. How had this been allowed to happen? The manager of the restaurant walked out the back, alarmed to see two furious parents in a scene unfolding. Alexis thrust her daughter's cup of juice in his face and asked him to explain. Confused, he took a sip. That definitely wasn't apple juice, but then what was it? And how had it gotten into the little girl's cup? The manager on duty confirmed their worst fears. That wasn't apple juice in the cup, it was alcohol. He discarded the drink immediately. Then he filed an incident report and reimbursed them for their meal, as if that could undo the damage now. Meanwhile, Alia was deteriorating quickly. Would the ambulance get there in time? The manager spoke to the bartender, and after inspecting their supplies, they concluded that a container marked apple juice had been mislabeled. Alexis, furious and upset, couldn't hold back. How could they have made such a blunder? Alia was only 18 months old and had given her alcohol. Her emotions flew between anxiety and fury, then she broke down. Alexis began to cry. She felt like she'd been doing everything she could to ensure her baby was healthy and happy, and now this.
In fact, I started crying at the restaurant as a mom. It was very emotional. Alcohol is something serious. We have to be 21 as an adult to drink it.
But would Alia be okay? Alia's juice had been discarded, but she'd already consumed more than was safe. By the time the ambulance arrived, she was a little off balance, Alexis recalled. They checked her vitals and rushed her off to a doctor. After waiting for 2 terrifying hours, the doctor saw her, and when he measured her blood alcohol levels, the results spoke for themselves. The doctor confirmed Alia had consumed around 3 teaspoons of alcohol. Though this may seem like a normal amount, the tiny tot had a blood alcohol level of around 0.065, just under the legal limit for adults. Even worse, that was 2 hours after she'd consumed it. The alcohol had had time to dissipate. Alexis was horrified. Thankfully, Alia made a full recovery from her ordeal. However, her parents want to warn other parents out there to always check their children's drinks. Alexis also revealed the restaurant had offered to transfer the juice to Alia's sippy cup before they realized something was wrong, but thankfully she declined. What would have happened then? She would have been sipping on alcohol all day and possibly passed away, Alexis said. I'm just lucky that my daughter didn't consume the whole cup because she probably wouldn't be here now. While mistakes do happen, it's disturbing that this isn't the first time something like this has happened at a restaurant. In 2011, a Michigan toddler was hospitalized after the 15-month-old was mistakenly served alcohol at an Applebee's. In a similar mislabeling incident, the child was served alcoholic margarita mix instead of juice. Dominic Wilson Jr.'s mother, Taylor Dill Reese, noticed Dominic was acting extremely out of character.
He was saying hi and bye to the walls, and he eventually laid his head down on the table, and we thought maybe he was just sleepy.
That's when she began to suspect her child had been served alcohol. She immediately drove him to the hospital, where they found his blood alcohol level to be 0.1. They said if he drank that whole cup, he would have passed away, the tearful mom said. And there was also an incident at Texas Roadhouse in 2015. A 2-year-old in Asheville, North Carolina was accidentally served sangria at a Texas Roadhouse in 2015.
She was staggering and she was kissing everything.
I had to rub her belly the whole night and she slept with us because I was scared she might not wake up, that she'd choke on her throw up and not wake up. It was the most horrible feeling ever. So what can we do to prevent this from happening again? I believe this restaurant needs to be investigated, one mom said. My child's drink should come in a kid's cup and parents should check the cups from now on. But what was the restaurant's response? Although it was an isolated incident, we will take immediate action to ensure our staff receives retraining in alcohol service through the Serve Safe Alcohol program, they said in a statement. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.